Okay. Okay. I've been working on some I've been working on my poetry. I don't know if it ever happens to you, but there are times where I feel like I'm just not doing as good as I hoped to be doing, or creatively. I just feel like it's just not where it used to be, and that's chill, but also it's not where I want it to be. So it's like in this like limbo of sorts, and it's not necessarily a creative block because there are things there, like I'm aware that they're there. It's almost like I just don't know how to what it wants to become, like what it wants to be. I'm a firm believer that creatively, it's not that, yes, it's coming from you, but honestly, you're just like tuning in to something that's just there constantly, and it's your interpretation of that. Oh, that's better. Yeah, okay. It's your interpretation, and so like I'm never not tapped in, but I have a hard time I don't know, alchemizing it, I guess you could say. So I'm gonna read to you some of like what my process is. Today I sat down and I'm like, you know what, let's try it. Let's just give it a shot, because at least I'm giving it that time, even if it turns into nothing. Here is proof. Here it is. See, today's the 12th, right? Sunday. There, that's the date. Okay, and I ended up just calling it primordial putrefaction. I don't know why. I mean, I was reading some of this, perusing through some of this, and then I was looking at this, and I'm like, that's what's coming to me right now. So this is very raw. It has not been edited, and I just kind of let it flow without thinking too much. And I guess also, if you must know, I've just been very inspired by Rumi lately for like the past year. Rumi has really wedged himself into my work. And if you don't know who he is, Rumi was a mystic poet from a long time ago. A lot of his poems nowadays are circulated like love poems, and yes, they are. But the object of his poems was not a person, it was a force. He was a Sufi mystic poet, and he wrote about what we call God. Okay, so this is primordial putrefaction, written by me, and it's probably gonna change, so fermenting the soul through fire, I only know the scent of descent, my personal purgatory, through which I willingly crawl on my belly. It leads me to other shores, into which I happily drown. purpose, I don't know, I'm like in between words there. I don't know. The point is to drown. My fate, to be reborn. When I close my eyes, I see the secrets of my soul. They are melodies on repeat, lyrics that sit in the pit of my stomach. The urge to run overtakes me then and there, as if I could rewrite this story. It was sealed before my time. And that's all I have so far. No fucking way. I'm not gonna show it because what if it still works? But this is an old journal that I just, you know, like if it has empty pages, I'll just write in it. And it has a phone number of a dude from a long time ago. And just a fun little side story. This is was my gay lover. I didn't know that he was gay, and I think he was pretending that he was not gay. And we hung out. Actually, it was really intense what happened. So, we got grouped into a team project, and none of the people in our group could join us to, like, you know, talk and figure out what we're gonna write about. I think we were writing about Don Quixote. It was like a group project on Don Quixote. And I remember he was like, I have time right now after this class if you want to go to the library and we can get started. And I was like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Also because I didn't have a cell phone at this time, so like I knew it was gonna be hard to like stay in touch with everybody. And I figured that if I didn't take the opportunity, it wasn't gonna happen, because then I would slack off because I don't like group projects. And so we went to the library to go discuss Don Quixote, and we just, you know, we were having a really good conversation about it. And then we just started talking about other stuff, and like the conversation just flowed very naturally. Like one topic led into another and into another. And I really liked the way he carried himself. I wouldn't necessarily say that like he was my type of dude at that time. And he wasn't ugly. Like he was attractive, but he wasn't my type of dude that I'd be like, oh yeah, like I can see it. No, it wasn't like that. But there was something, and I'm like, And then okay. And so we stayed talking for a longest time. I lost track of time. And eventually he's like, do you want to go get something to eat? Like, you know, because it was getting kind of late and people eat when they're hungry. And so I was like, yeah, sure. Where do you want to go? And he's like, let's go to the mall. It's just down the street. There's a food court. It's really good. And I'm like, for sure, let's go. And I drive, and like I'm feeling really good because I'm like, damn, that's a really stimulating conversation. It was flowing. I guess we were in the flow state. And so then we pull up, and I remember we drove separately, I think. Actually, I don't remember. I think he drove us. So anyway, we pull up to the mall, and he's, you know, like a real gentleman, like opens the door and everything, and I'm like, what the fuck? Ain't nobody ever treat me like this. And then we ended up going into like, it was like a candy store or something before we headed to the food court. And I wanted to get these Mexican candies, and he's like, don't worry, I'll pay for them. And I'm like, what? I'm like, okay. And I don't recall exactly what happened, but like we accidentally like brushed fingers. I don't know how or what was the circumstance, but I kid you not, there was like a electrical shock that went, and I'm like there was an electricity between us, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then we go to the food court and we get our food. I have eating issues, and so like it was a little weird for me. I felt very self-conscious and like weird at that time. I'm like, I don't know how I'm feeling right now. Like it's kind of strange. it was almost like I was fighting the level of comfort that I felt. And so then we just kept hanging out, you know, like, because we were in the same class. Like, we actually didn't really talk in the class, but we ended up just hanging out outside of school hours. And we went out a couple times. I remember we went to go dancing, and it was a good time. But I felt a little weirdness. I couldn't really pinpoint it, what it was. I don't know if it was like a physical thing or like a personality thing or something else. I don't know. It just felt weird. Like, it's going good, but I don't feel like an intense, like, not intense. I didn't feel a strong enough connection. There was a connection, but it didn't feel super strong. And I remember, like, I wanted to be close to him, like, because I don't know, like, I wanted me having been single for forever. I saw it as an opportunity to finally experience the things that I wanted to experience. A lot of things that have to do with the opposite gender at that time. I wanted to know more about it. And I figured that even though the weirdness was there, I could make it work somehow. And I remember there was this one night, like, because he lives so fucking far. And also, he didn't want to meet me halfway. He's like, you come here and then we'll leave together. And I'm like, but okay. And so then I remember this one night we go back to his where he lives, because that's where I had left my car. And also, side note, like, I just never felt like confident in myself the entire time that I talked to him, which was super weird, because I don't know, it was like, it just wasn't it, and I knew it, but I didn't. Okay, and then this one night, like, you know, where it happens that we kiss, and I didn't feel anything from him. Like, there was no response. Like he was kissing me back, but there was nothing. And it was so strange, because I've had kisses, well, one kiss only, that I ever felt anything. Like, because it's a, you know, your lips are like the most sensitive part of your body, because it has tons of nerves. I never felt anything kissing any of the dudes that I kissed, except for one. And it wasn't even my first kiss, but it was a kiss with a person that I genuinely had feelings for. 100% long, a slow yearning type of feelings, where I'm like, I really like him, and I can't even like explain what it is that I like. I just like everything. That kiss was intense, and it was the most innocent little peck ever, and it felt like fucking fireworks. It felt like how they describe it in fucking movies and shit. It literally felt like that. But anyway, fast forward to the gay lover. When we kissed, there was nothing, and I'm like, damn. I'm like, I must just be ugly. It must be me. I'm just not attractive. It's just, I'm the issue. The issue is me. And I remember leaving and just feeling very strange about everything, and like, I don't know, like, I thought that was what he wanted. Anyway, we hang out one more time, and that last outing, I just knew that we were not meant to hang out. And I remember, because like, then I had a cell phone, and I was texting him, and he wasn't getting my messages. No, I wasn't receiving his messages. For some fucking reason, his messages wouldn't come through, so he would text me back, and I wouldn't know, and I thought he was ignoring me. And that night, I remember we're sitting in the back seat, and like, things just feel very strange. And I remember suddenly he pulls out his phone, and he like nudges me, and he's like, look. And he shows me all the fucking messages he'd sent that never got to me. and they were delivered. That said sent. Like, they were sent out to my phone. It was my correct phone number and everything, and never received it. And I'm like, well, if that isn't a fucking sign, then I don't know what is. And we stopped talking. Just never reached out to him again. He never reached out to me, but I kept him on my social media. At that time, it was Facebook. And then, I don't know, like maybe 2 years passed. I don't fucking know. And I happened to stumble across his page, and he's married. And I'm like, oh. I'm like, wait, is that his wedding? And I'm like, okay, yeah, it's his wedding. And I look, who the fuck is he marrying? He married his best friend. Like, we would hang out together. I remember we all hung out. Like, I remember we went to the movies and I was holding hands with him, and his friend was literally sitting on my other side, and it was a dude. I remember his name. And I'm like, ain't no fucking way. He was gay all along. He secretly loved his best friend and wanted to be with his best friend the entire time. And then, like, being how insecure I was at that time, I'm like, oh my god, he realized he was gay when I tried hooking up with him. I'm pretty sure he just fucking knew after me, I'm gay as fuck. And then I felt weird because I'm like, damn, like, what the fuck did I trigger? What was it? So anyway, in conclusion, I guess I just trigger things in people, I suppose. I don't know. And then me and my mom hung out, and we were talking about my past, and I realized that I've had these experiences of I don't know why this is coming out. These experiences of these dudes like having emotions for me, and me just not accepting it, not realizing it, or like realizing it but not willing to face it. And I don't know. And like, now that I look back, I'm like, damn, like, there were times where, like, if it would have been any other moment of my growth that would have happened, I would have ended up with them. And that's not the case, because here I am. And it must be for a reason. I know it's for a reason. I do know. And I've already accepted it and moved forward. You know, everything in its divine timing. The things that are meant for you will never feel forced. They'll feel like a flow state where things just naturally happen, effortlessly and peacefully. They happen, though the fear and the uncertainty and the doubt never really truly leave. It's more of like a choice, I guess you could say. You choosing to do something, or choosing to stop fighting it, I guess is a better way to say it. And that's the point that I'm at now. I've chosen to stop swimming against the current. I've chosen to let the current take me where it wants to take me, and if I'm going to drown, then I'm going to drown, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. I gotta go finish washing my clothes, so that's all I